And remember, submissions only as we get underway here. What a stomp.
Good grief.
Incredible agility.
The challenger's taking on some offense, but she knew this match wasn't going to be easy.
If you're worried about her now, you haven't seen many of her matches. She can withstand so much more punishment than this.
Bringing it back into the ring.
It's stunning to see how many highlights Sasha Banks has created. Her WWE career only spans a few short years, but she's already had many history-making moments. She's looking wobbly, guys.
I assure you the hazards outside the ring are very, very real.
This is a bad situation. You're right, Michael, in saying Sasha Banks has made history in WWE. First women's Iron Man match, first woman to compete inside Hell in a Cell, and first woman to wrestle in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, those are all well and good, guys, but at the end of each of those matches, she just...
There it is.
The boss is giving some serious orders right now.
Ooh, right to the back. Boom, face first.
Not looking good for the champ here, though we've seen her come back from worse in the past.
In a submission match, the name of the game is to make your opponent tap out from a submission move. There have been so many submission specialists throughout the history of this great business. Bret Hitman Hart, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, William Regal, and Daniel Bryan are a few who come to mind. And on the women's side, I think about Alundra Blaze, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and the boss, Sasha Banks.
Going to have a hard time stopping Becky when she's doing this.
Corey, earlier you spoke about a submission match, and one thing I'd like to point out is that a submission match is not necessarily the same as an I Quit match. The key difference is that a submission match requires the use of a submission maneuver. In an I Quit match, victory can be achieved by bringing your opponent to the point where they quit as a result of the overall punishment they've received in the match.
That's an important distinction, Michael, especially since a superstar can win an I Quit match by using a submission maneuver. For superstars who aren't proficient in submission moves, they enter this type of match at a disadvantage. It doesn't mean they can't win, but they need to perfect applying a submission move quickly. Come on, Corey, try and keep up.
Look out, she could be done.
Whack! Michael, that gives new meaning to have a seat.
Byron, you've seen Becky compete since her days in NXT. Would you say she is one of the most difficult superstars to devise a strategy against?
Oh, absolutely, Michael. It's one of the reasons Becky is such a feared competitor. The Irish Lass Kicker can trade holds, exchange martial arts strikes, and take to the air with the best of them.
Uh-oh, Becky Lynch may have it.
I'll reiterate Byron's point, how Becky Lynch is a versatile fighting style to put her on the offensive. But it's
Really targeting the back on that one.
Look at this again, guys.
This match might just be over. Don't know if it's going to work, but Becky is playing mind games now.
Back now inside the ring.
One of the things a superstar who's competing in a submission match has to be careful of is if they have an injury or have been injured in the past and people know about it. You can bet in a submission match that your opponent is going to target that body part immediately. It's like having a giant bullseye on an arm, leg, ankle, or shoulder.
Going to have a hard time stopping Becky when she's doing this.
Byron, you brought up that a submission match can be especially dangerous for a competitor who's injured or had a known injury. I think that's why it's just as important in a submission match to be able to reverse the submission move from an opponent as it is to apply a submission maneuver to an opponent. If a superstar can't reverse an opponent's submission, then they're certainly going to be in trouble.
Some superstars have more than one submission at their disposal, and it becomes a pick-your-poison scenario for...
Becky Lynch. Got the disarmer. Now that's how you successfully defend your title.
A move like that can almost snap a superstar in half. I have to give Sasha Banks credit for being a student of the game.
Becky Lynch rolls through, and she's got the disarmer. This one is over.
To elaborate on what Corey said about Sasha's admiration for Eddie Guerrero, Banks has pulled some of Eddie's old tricks to gain an advantage over her opponent.
Yeah, she's used the old pretend your opponent hits you with a foreign object while the ref's not looking trick a few times.
Hooked up in the corner.
Exploder suplex. That's it. That's what she needed.
She's on her last legs.
Got the disarmer. That's how you put an exclamation point on the end of a match, guys. Sasha Banks is in a bad way now.
The boss looks terrible at the moment.
The WWE Universe witnessed a classic submission match in 2016's Extreme Rules event. The Queen, Charlotte Flair, defended her Women's Championship against Natalya. The one thing I thought was unfair about the match is that there was a ban against the Nature Boy Ric Flair being at ringside. If Flair appeared, Charlotte would lose the match and her women's crown.
Corey, you spoke of the submission match between Charlotte Flair and Natalya, and I need to point out that this match was not Flair's figure eight versus Natalya's sharpshooter. Victory could be achieved by making your opponent tap out to any submission maneuver. She's looking at it. She better do something fast. And Corey, she releases the hold. Looks like a... Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go.
Becky Lynch is credited as one of the superstars who ushered in the Women's Revolution. No match in WWE history showed where that movement was going, like the Women's Triple Threat match at WrestleMania 32. Becky Lynch clashed with the Boss, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte for the Women's Championship. She is on fire. Nice exploder suplex. The champ needs to hurry here.
It took two, but it looks like that one should do the trick.
The Women's Triple Threat match at WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas was one of the most anticipated matches on the card. Becky Lynch went on a tear in the months leading up.
Becky Lynch got the disarmer. Bad news for the Boss. That's not even remotely comfortable looking.
Oh, the reversal by Becky Lynch.
At WrestleMania 32, the world saw WWE's Women's Revolution take center stage when Becky Lynch faced off against Charlotte Flair and Sasha Banks.
You got him. Got the disarmer. Wow, she's fought her way all the way back here. And Becky Lynch remains champion.
That was one of the most entertaining submission matches we've seen in a while. Take a look.
I could watch highlights of that one all night long. One of the great WWE matches I've ever been able to watch. Count yourselves lucky, people. You might watch WWE for years and only see a match that good a few times. Epic.
Here is your winner, and still the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch.
Sending a message to the entire locker room with that win.
There's nothing more pure than picking up a win in a good old-fashioned one-on-one fight.
And it'll be interesting to see the ripple effects this win has in the weeks to come.